live. Got it. Going live. We're all live. I was dead before, but now I'm live. Let me add waiting room. I see Ray here. Done redirecting YouTube, and oh, good. I finally remembered to hit mute on a other video on YouTube. So when Go Live launched, it was already muted.
That's cool.
Yeah. So howdy, everyone.
Hello. Hello, everybody.
Oh, here's Tom. And I actually didn't reach it. Usually I reach out to Jean before. Just been busy.
Hey, Tom. Hi.
Hey, how's it going?
That Ray, he's a fox.
Yeah.
Have you already gone live?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're.
Yeah, right.
Hey, Ray.
Oh, I like his background.
I am indeed a fox.
I was going to say, we're explorers around there somewhere.
Yeah.
That's awesome. How are we all doing today? Let's get going. Ray, do you have anything in particular you're working on that?
Well, there is something. It's probably pretty simple.
My favorite kind.
Should start with those, right?
Let me see how to explain. Okay, in my browser, I go Shift F10. Sorry. Geez, how to explain this? Okay.
Maybe if you can
able to share your desktop?
Yeah, maybe sharing it, yeah, might help.
Assuming that there's no privileged information.
Of course.
Share screen. Share this screen. Share. Okay, now I have to figure out how to do this. Oh, let me think here. Let me see, what if I do this, and then this, and then this. Just waiting here, and then if I go here and F10, and what I want to automate is, I want to automate Shift F10, L for LastPass, O for other, tilde, which is this one, and then fill to do that, and then it'll fill my information. And I'm just, I don't know how to tell it to do Shift F10, L, O, tilde, F for fill. Is that understandable?
So basically, just a quick question. So you want to do an AutoHotkey script that does that, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. You can use the send command, I would assume.
Well, and here's the thing, because Isaiah wrote me and said, for whatever reason, he can't see your screen. Maybe Isaiah.
No, on the live screen, I meant, but I can see it now. So okay. It seems that there's kind of like a little lag in there, but that's okay. Now, yeah. But I do understand what he's trying to do now. It is with a hot string or hotkey, you can do that. Well, and using the send command, I would say, right?
Yeah. However,
I would just add it if when active too.
Yeah, of course.
But before we go down that route, not that I want to do it this way. I just want to bring up sending keystrokes, is
not the best solution. Yeah, of course.
Always the most robust. And especially something like this where you're sending so many in a row and you're waiting for your browser to respond.
Right.
Yeah, I'd be, even more concerned. However, the other solution, and I'm guessing just from how Ray is, getting working to get his words around what he's wanting to do. He's not a full developed AutoHotkey automation guru. The other solutions that we would probably take that would be more robust and more reliable, it's we want to give you something that you can actually use and hopefully edit if there's a tweak later, right? So that's why I just wanted to preface this with saying, you know what, okay, Isaias, if you want to help talk him through, or Tom, sending keystrokes to do it, and really you do one at a time, right? You and Tom's correct. It's not just send all the keystrokes. It's let's make sure we're on the right screen, send a keystroke, and then hopefully detect we're on the next screen somehow, if possible.
I'll be honest, actually, I would say we don't even need AutoHotkeys. We could just use auto control.
In this
he wouldn't
instance,
even need to know how to program if he does need to make those changes later. Because with those, it's just, it can do keystrokes without any coding needed.
Yeah,
so that's something we could definitely do.
Now, before I go into whatever solution we're going to give, I did want to confirm something. So can you go back to the page, please? Can you go back to the page? Right. So you are here on the keywords thing, right? And can you go to the menu again? Let me double check what your real intent is. So you're going to use the, you want to show the menu. So that's the apps key. You want to go to the LastPass menu, okay? You're going to look for other information, and then there is something specific that you want to send there. Is that oh, the main filling source? Can you go to that menu and see what you got there? Is that like you always going to use the word fill in there, or no? So sorry. Those are options that will fill the information that is in that menu. Is that what I'm thinking?
Yes. This will, like, if you know LastPass.
Right, it would put like a password information there, right?
It'll put in this option, this other tilde fill. That will put in, it'll look at the page, and if it needs my name, address, date of birth, it'll put that in.
In whatever form you have there, is what you're saying, right? Okay, so what I meant is, and this is where my question was, if that was static information, I would just send the information directly. But it looks like it depends on the page where you're at. And so for that reason, I wanted to know that before giving you the answer. So yes, we will go with the menu for now, and let's just go ahead and program around it for now. The first thing is, let's go to hotkey. You can either set up a hot string or a hotkey, however you prefer. So let's start with a hotkey, and then you later modify that. Let's start with F1 or whatever hotkey you prefer. Put 2 dots, 2 colons.
How about Control 6?
Yeah, that's okay. Just put the 2 columns. And usually what I would do is just, I think you can send the apps key directly by using exactly that name, apps key. So put the 2 columns, please, to signify right.
Like the colons, okay.
Yeah. So that would be the 2 colons. And now you can use the send command. Just use send.
And then a comma.
Yeah, the comma is optional, but yeah, you can do that. And now you can use the curly braces to start the name of a key that you're going to send. And now you're going to type apps key, just like that, apps key. And close the curly braces. That would actually open the menu for you. So instead of doing an Shift F10, sending the apps keys a little bit better. And now you just put the letters that you want to send one after the other. It might be, as you mentioned, the, what was it like?
I have to remember, it was L for LastPass. I'll just do it again.
Right, here's what I would do. This is a best practices, right? First, write out what you're trying to do in,
Right.
in native English. Then we'll convert it to code. And this way it'll be much easier for us to make. So, it's activate the apps key, and then we're going to say send the X, whatever keys, right? And then we'll
Right.
convert
Now, but right now this should work, but there is a little bit of a thing that Joe mentioned a little bit prior to this, which is that there might be a delay when we send the key and when the browser answers. So we might take that into consideration. What I'm going to do, so just like that, in one line, that should work. But let's take that into consideration. You see the send command, put it in a new line, please. Just put in a new line.
Can you hold down control and scroll up a bit just to zoom, if you know how to zoom?
Oh,
Just
yeah.
make it a little bigger for people.
Right.
Are you asking me to hold down control?
Yes, and scroll.
And use your mouse to scroll up.
Just to make the text bigger
Bigger.
for the viewers.
Yeah, there we go.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh,
So, yeah. So what we're gonna do, you see the send command, just hit enter and put it on a new line so that we could just go ahead and add a line right above it. No, just go there and hit enter. So the whole thing just goes down. Right. And hit enter again just to have one line in there. Right. Now here, what we're going to do above the send command is to put the set key delay command. Let's use set key delay.
And you might have to play around.
And
with
then
it.
just putting here a setting of 100 milliseconds first. Just put 100. Do not put the brackets. Those brackets, when you see them, they mean that those are optional parameters that you can put some or not put them if you want. So this option makes it so that every single keystroke that the send command is going to send is going to wait for 100 milliseconds. Okay. After you finish sending the keys, it's good practice to set it back to where it was. So below the send command, you're going to put the set key delay again and put a 0 to it. Send key delay 0. That makes it so that it sends the lowest, and then a return right here. Just add return, right? Yeah, just the word return. Yeah. So now our hotkey is going to set every single key we send to a delay of 100 milliseconds. And after it sends those keys, it's going to set the return back to what it was. Now, I think you have to reload the script for the new changes to be effective.
I did. I have control S and control R. So I did that. Okay.
I'm sorry?
He has a hotkey for it.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So did you save it first before reloading, just to make sure?
Yeah.
Okay. So now if you try to run Control-6, at least we should see the, at least we saw something. Without, we see the LO and the tilde there, but the apps key did something weird. Can you press the apps key on your keyboard and see what it does? Because it sends you into full screen.
I'm not sure what the apps key is. I do
Okay,
have
so
to bring that up.
Okay, so the apps key on your keyboard. So on the right side, you have the control keys, right? Control
Function.
Right. So the control key to your right side of the keyboard should have a key right next to it that has kind of like a little menu. If you don't have that, maybe that's the reason why it didn't work.
It could be elsewhere too, unfortunately.
Right. It can be. Okay. So in that case, what we're going to do, let's go back to the script and not use the apps key because it actually triggered something else. What you're going to do is remove apps key completely. And well, in the brackets, you're going to put F10. You're going to put the same F10.
Curly brackets.
Yeah.
How do I do shift?
We're going to put I'm going to tell you in a second. So put F10 first. Close the brackets. And now before the first curly braces, you're going to put a plus sign. That is the shift, actually. That would tell AutoHotkey to send a shift key, shift F10 right there.
Okay.
Now, so let's try that again.
Save, oh, wait, okay, reload.
Oh, hold on. It added an R right there. So just be
Oh.
careful with that.
Okay, save, reload, go back here.
So before you even try it, can you press F11 on your keyboard so that it goes back to normal view? Because I think it went into, yeah, there we go. So now try it again, go to the keywords and let's try it again.
Whoa, what the heck is that? Test, how did that? Okay, Control 6. Control 6. Trying again.
Okay, so hold on. Okay, so let's do this. I'm gonna, this is the reason why Joe at the beginning said like, this is a little bit complicated to do with the keyboards, because usually when we do with keyboard stuff, this is what happens. It's not really, we have to take too many things into consideration. Let's start with just Shift F10, remove everything else. Shift F10 should only open the menu. So that right there, just reload it. And let's just go from there. Let's make sure that at least the menu is showing up, because I'm not even seeing the menu coming up. Oh.
All right.
Okay, save, reload, go back, Control 6, nothing.
Nothing is showing up.
No.
Okay, so that's where we should start. For some reason, that is not working. Use the word send play instead of send. Just put send play right next to it.
There's 3 types of send, and
Right, let's start with play just in case, because it might be that Chrome is kind of like ignoring that one.
Could it be that the plus should go here?
Not necessarily. No, not really.
Okay, save, reload, go back here, Control 6, still nothing.
Still nothing. Let's do this. Change the send command for a message box, because I'm thinking that the thing is not even working. So just put message box right there. Message box command would be MSG, just MSG, lose everything else. MSG box, right? Right, that's the command. Just hit OK, and let's try that. You should get a message box right there when you run this.
Reload, Control 6.
So we're not getting a message box, right?
Right, we're not.
So the point is, I think you're reloading a script that is not running. You have to run the script first.
And now I'm lost.
just hit F5, should launch it.
Sorry?
Inside sight, F5 should launch the script for you.
F5.
Now the script should be working. Try Control 6 now.
Save, reload, Control 6, nothing.
So we're having a little bit of an issue with that.
Well,
What if we try this in just a completely new script? Because
Well,
I mean,
or
this
I was going to
is
say,
really
put a
long.
message box before the hotkey. You know, there could be something there, not even letting it get down to.
Yeah.
Well, hotkeys do not work that way. So yeah, right. So hotkeys do not have that issue. I think it is an issue with the script not running. That's what
Yeah,
is
it's like
going on.
almost 400 lines of code. I think it'd be better to test this in a completely
On a completely, yeah. So let's save that in a different location. Right. So
Okay. Do you see at the bottom corner that I have three?
right, but are those the one? Yeah, you have 3 scripts running, but what are those?
Well, they're all the same one, AutoHotkey.
.hk. Okay.
So maybe I should.
Right. Yeah. So you just close the other ones. And actually, this is good practice. On the top of that script, set the option single instance force. That way, if you run the script several times, it doesn't open new instances. Maybe that's the reason why the hotkey was not working, because one of those old instances is actually having it locked.
But
So
Well,
Also,
the
the
newest
top
script
point-
should always take over.
it should, but now, and it has it like single instance force. So something was going on in there. let's
But
do
to
what
Tom's point,
Oh,
I
Yeah.
always, when I'm working on something new, I put it in its own
in a
file.
different. Yeah, let's try that. Let's start with that. So
Really good practice.
yeah, so let's go to the bottom. That hotkey, let's put it in a totally different file, named something totally different.
So
New-
I go here.
New file. Just click on new file. New. Right. Paste it there. Save it with whatever name you want. Control S would allow you to save it. And it would tell you where you want to save it. It doesn't matter where you want to put it. Test.ahk, right? Now run the script.
Okay, Control 6. Bingo.
Right, so this is working, right? Now, let's try this. Change the message box to a send, right? Now save it, rerun the script, and go to the, try it here. You should get a menu here. If the script is working fine.
Okay, save. Control R for reload.
Hold on, no, hold on. Here, you do not have the Control R for reload because you have to set it as a hotkey right there.
Okay. Load session.
No. So what we're going to do, so at the bottom where your icons are, so you can go to the icons, you can find the icon for the script. Is that the one? The one that says test.ahk, where is it? It's not running. So run the script, please.
Run this.
You can click right here to run it.
F5.
Yeah.
Or F5. Yeah, you can click on that to run it. You should get an icon. Search for the icon and see if you find it to see if it is running actually.
I got this down here.
Oh, make it persistent. So yeah, let's go to the top of the line, the first line, just add hashtag persistent.
Oh.
Yeah, that, yeah, hashtag persistent is the same. You can just copy paste it. That is one. And second of all, you can now run it.
Running.
Right.
This.
Yeah, it looks like it's running now. Now let's go here. Let's go and find it. Let's see if we have one that says test.
We do not.
It must be this one though. Can you double click on it? That should have.
Well, in the output window, it sure looks like it's launching. So
it is. It should be that one.
I'd still say throw a message box after line 1, before line 2.
Right. Okay. So an older script. Yeah. So it is actually running. It just says autohotkey.h. Well, why? I'm not sure. Well, say yes and.
What version of AutoHotkey is he running?
Not sure. So let me do this so we can take a little bit, save a little bit of time. Can I control your computer for a second?
Go ahead.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and request
access. You'll see a message box pop up.
Right. So let me just 1 second. You let me know when you select yes on that one. Yeah, there we go. So let's just try this. Single instance. That's the first thing. Now, let's get a message box there just to make sure that we're getting at least something that the script is running. And then I'm going to make message box here. Hotkey. So now what is going on is that I'm going to make a message box when it starts and also a message box when I press the hotkey. So I know that it is actually working. So now let's go ahead and run this. I would assume, let me close everything.
Hey, John, I just noticed you're here.
Hey, John. Hi. Oh, so now we can see the test.hk file down here. You see it? Right. So now, if we go back to our, is this the one? I would assume so.
I think it's this.
Okay, so can you bring the, right. Right, so this is the one. Basically, I didn't get a message box though. Let me just 1 second. Where's the message box? When I run this, I should get this one. I got that one. And Control-6 should give me a message box and also a menu. There it is. So this is the menu that I'm waiting for. So I know that this is working. I don't need the message boxes any longer. And we can always, here on the script, you can always just reload it from there. You can use the word to reload. So you can also always do that. Now, if I hit Control-6, I should get a menu here without a message box, right? Where's my menu? Now that's the old. What? Yeah. Let me just close it because it's not behaving as I was expecting. So let's try it again. The thing should be running somewhere. What? I don't see it running. I ran the script. Where is my script? There. Oh, it took a little while for it to open.
Might be delayed because
Right, there is something going on.
and,
Yeah, so it is taking a little time for it to show up, but right now, if I press Control-6, a menu should show up. There it is. Now, if I go to the,
Here, I'll take it there.
yeah, so from here, if I press Control-6, I should get that menu there. So that is working. So now that we have that actually working, we just add the other things that we needed. You said LO. So let me just 1 minute. Right. So
LO tilde.
LO tilde and then F. I think it was what you.
Yes.
Right. So let me just 1 minute. I think that should. Oh. So right now, let me just 1 minute. let me do that one. So we're good. So we're good here. I just saved and let's just go ahead and reload here. So now if I reload it, let's make sure that it, hold on, give it a little time because actually, let me close it and reopen it because I've noticed that sometimes it takes a little long to show up and we think that it's not working, but it is. So
yeah.
Right. So let's really close it first and then, because that way we can make sure that the latest version is showing up. Notice, look at that. It is frozen right now. I'm right clicking on it and it is not working. So something is eating up your processing time and it is not working.
Might be you.
It can be, right? Oh, I think that's the new version now. Yeah, so it now showed up, right? So if you could, no, I was just going to say like exit completely, but yeah.
Okay, ready to test?
Yeah, can you close it?
Control-6.
we do not test it yet.
No?
Because no, we should not test it yet. I want you to close it completely first. Just close it. Just close it.
So you mean, oh dear. Okay.
Right. So right there, close it because the
right.
reason, yeah. So it usually kind of like hangs in there. You see that you cannot see the menu, right?
Right.
It is because your computer is really slow and right now, and the script might be the older version. That's the reason why we cannot test it. Let's close it completely. Whenever your computer decides that it can do it.
How about if I close it here?
No, that's just a file. That's not.
Maybe with the task manager.
No, so now he should be able to do it. So now exit it, right? Just exit now. So I want to make sure that it is closed. Now, if I run it and I see the file, then that means that we're running the latest version. That's what happens. And this is not really how it usually goes. It's just that the computer is slow. So I'm just waiting for the script to load, and the computer is taking a long time just to open the new version of it. So there's something going on. And I see that the computer is kind of like, his CPU is running to the maximum right now. So it is not AutoHotkey itself, it's just that the computer CPU is going crazy right now. And it is Edge. Edge is taking that to the next level.
I'll close Edge.
Right, and notice that the script hasn't even started yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is. Now it showed up. You see that? Now it showed up. That's the latest version. But it is just because the computer is actually really loaded at the moment. So,
yeah, I don't understand what this Microsoft Edge anyway.
I think it's Zoom. It's Zoom that is doing that. So Zoom is using a Edge view.
Plus, you have an insane amount of stuff running on your computer. I saw like you could scroll very far. So you just have a ton. Plus, when you click that little arrow key on your desktop, you have a bunch of stuff running.
Right. So now let's try it now. So Control-6 here. Let's see what happens.
I thought it worked. It seemed to work to me.
Yes, up to some point, right?
Yeah, it's just, it's not the right kind of page.
Right. So this page is not going to be filled, but I think it should be working now, right?
It seemed to me that it was working. It seemed to me that it went through every one of the steps.
Yes. So let's just go ahead and kind of like summarize what is going on. Our first attempt was working. The problem is as your computer was really slow, whenever we reloaded the script, we were actually using the old version and it was not, we were saying like, oh, it's not working, but it was just because it was slow, right?
Right, the delay was confusing us.
Right, but the thing was working, and I would like to test also with the apps key command again.
I've been actually playing with that, and even on my computer, I can't get it to send the apps key.
Oh, it doesn't. Oh, okay, so let's just not even try. So here's the deal. The point is, this kind of ways of automating those kind of stuff, we do know that it works. If there is one of the keys that is not working, like for example, it loaded the menu, it sent the L, the O, because we could see those, but it's not sending the tilde, or it's not sending the F, or you're missing one, you can try adjusting the delay a little bit, okay? And in the case of hotkeys like F10 and Enter, or those kind of things, you have to use the braces around it. In the case of this tilde key, if it's not working, you can also put the curly braces, because the tilde key means something to AutoHotkey when it is working with hotkeys. So if you want to send raw information, you can also use the
or just tell it to send raw.
Right, you can send raw. In this case, I'm not really sure if we want that because of the F10,
right.
But we can just kind of like tell it, just send that, don't send the out. For example, that happens with the Alt key or the Shift key. You see the Shift itself means like the plus key means Shift in AutoHotkey, right?
Right.
If you want to send the plus sign by itself, instead of sending the Shift, you have to use the curly braces. That's what I'm trying to explain, just to keep that in mind. If the key itself has some type of meaning attached to it, then use the curly braces to send it as raw. That's what I would do. Okay.
Yeah.
So just test it out. You can now just grab this code because we know that it works. Put it on your main file, right? So we know that that works now. Just put it around wherever you put your code for that. And save that in your computer for now. What I would do is close the script first. Do not reload. Just exit and make sure you see that it is gone before. Right? So now run it again. And once you see the icon, then you know that you have the newest version. That's what is. So right now, there we go. So now you have the newest version. If you go to your page and hit Control-6, you should, I don't know why. So there's something happening here. You see that? So outside in its own file is working fine, but in here, there is something that is, can I test something? Let me try something on here.
Is there any type of like if statement in here that could be screwing it up? Or a setting, maybe?
No if statement, but here's the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
We got persistent twice.
But at least with this, what we're, so notice here, I saw something. Notice that here, you're trying to send that. Maybe that might be.
Oh, that's we can delete that. That was my attempt, my failed attempt.
No, don't worry. What I'm trying to do is now make sure that this tilde here is not the one causing the issue. Allow me just 1 second. So maybe that, let's reload this and make sure that that's not the issue. Because at some point, there's something in this main script. And let's try with just the Shift F10, because I would assume and this is actually mainly what we're looking at right now is debugging in general. How you can go about debugging stuff like this when you have no clue what is going on. Always go step by step and see what the heck is going on, because it was working in its own file, but as soon as we put it in here, there's something in here that is interfering with it. So we might want to just go ahead and see if one simple thing works, and then try the next step. Can you try Control? Yeah, so that works, right?
Yeah.
So it is something in here. It might be the tilde key, which is what I was saying. The tilde key has a meaning, and if you want to send it as raw, you have to put the thingies around it. So let's save this up. Let's do the manual reload just to make sure that we have the latest version in it. So did it go? Yeah. Let's try it this way. So let's try it again. Let's go ahead and open up the, hold on. Oh, you see what I mean? It is not loaded yet. I hit the run key. No, it seems to be that it didn't work. Hold on. Oh, there we go. Oh, it has an exit code. What? Oh no, now it's running. Okay, so I have the latest version now. Let's go to, yeah, let's try it now. Let's see what happens. Oh, that is interesting.
I would say maybe he should, if he can, know sensitive information in that script, send it over so we can look at it.
Yeah, I might want to take, right, exactly. So it would be good if you can send me that, because, or just by now, just start with having that on its own script for now, because in its own is working fine, right? But you can send us that information. Tell me you might want to just see through and see what happens. But in general, it looks like it is something interfering in that same script. There's something interfering with it.
It could be something as simple as putting a return somewhere where you forgot to put one because then something's hitting that's not supposed to.
Yeah, but that hotkey
actually just did something in there.
Getting triggered.
Yeah, it is.
It's there. It's within that part. That it
is within. Weird. Yeah, it is. Yeah, we might want to. I would take a look at it, but that's the reason why. And actually, this is a really good example why. So long as you can, don't use the send command to automate stuff. Sending keys is really unreliable. Like there's a lot of things that might go wrong, and it is about that. I assure you, is that tilde right there that is causing the issue. Okay, is that tilde, and actually. Just by removing, if you come, I'm sorry, I was just going to say, like, just comment that out and move it to the side. Hold on, right now. If you do that, it should open the menu up to the point that has the O. Is with the tilde. I assure you, it might be the tilde.
Well, and this is where also, Zayas, you might put that next part on its own line.
Yes, I might try. Yeah, I might try that.
It is very weird.
So the script is running. If you go to the page and you hit those two, the menu should be open up to that point, but it is not doing that.
What? Now it appeared.
Ah, there you go. You see, here's the thing. Remember what I mentioned about tinkering with the delay? When you're opening the menu, it's taking a long time for it to show up. Maybe because your computer is on the load right now. So if you set the key delay, the set key delay that we set up in there to something higher, it might help. But here's the problem. Right now, the delay that you're experiencing is because your computer is under load, because we are actually working on it, right? Maybe when you're not under load, then that key delay is not going to be nice. It's not going to be good for you. So that's the issue with having set key delays in here. You might have a high delay, like 500 milliseconds or something like that. Or sorry.
It's one of the big issues of just using sending keys in the first place is timing issues often creep in there. And this is why a programmatic approach is
a very simple thing.
But
1 hour it works, the next hour it doesn't, just because you are doing something different.
Right. So sending keys is not like the best solution, and it goes to the first point that Joe said. Like, and it is based on experience. We have done this a lot of times. Like, the first thing is like, if we can avoid sending keys, then let's just not use keys. In your situation, the one difficult thing about this is that sending keys is the faster way to get it done, right? Like this doesn't take much time to just send keys. The problem is that it's really unreliable. I assure you, as soon as we go out of the meeting, this thing is going to work perfectly fine for you because your computer is not on the load. It's just that as soon as you have
you might even turn off your video.
Look, the menu is not even showing up. It's taking way too long for the menu to show up. That's what happens.
Can we put in a delay here? Like, can we?
Yeah, you can just you can put a sleep in there. Maybe that's what happens. Sleep. No, hold on. You know what? I'm sorry. Let's do this. You see the set key delay, put it below the line 7, because you want the shift and the F10 to be as one. And then now for the LO and the tilde, put a send right there. I had that in mind and I forgot about it.
And it's a good point, Isaiah, to explain it is why would you delay hitting the F10 key, right? We're not trying to delay send that slower. It's what happens after that we're trying to slow down.
So yeah, so the F10 with the shift, I wanted to send it as one thing. I don't want to delay anything in there. But now the other ones, I do want to delay them because I want to wait for the menu to show up and every single one after that. But I had that in mind and I forgot, but let's try it again. Let's go ahead and close this up.
And back to your point, Ray, I think you asked about it. We could put each one of those, L, the O, the tilde, the F.
In their own thingy.
Yeah, with a slight delay in between each one of those.
But however, that's what the set key delay does, right?
Okay, sorry, I forgot, right.
Yeah, but maybe the set delay K will only be active after the L, not between the shift F10 and the L.
Really?
Maybe not sure.
Well, and even then, it's all
no. The set key delays for each key that the send command sends, actually.
After it is, yeah. So, but the send F10 is before, so it's not active when
no.
The
so
F10
that
is
one,
sent.
Right? Exactly. So the shift
just to be sure, I would insert a sleep command before. After the set delay, or just to give it a 1 second.
1 second delay, just
for example. Yeah.
I would put 500.
Okay. Good enough.
But I would also say, Isaiah, I understand your solution on line 8. It sets them all, but maybe you don't want the same set delay.
Oh no, for every single one. No, maybe there's some of them that I would want a higher delay. Yeah, in that case, then sending them separately is the best way to go. But let's go ahead and take a look at this. Hold on. And again, this is taking way longer just because of how the load of the computer is and how it affects everything. And that's the reason why we avoid the send command in general. Can we try it again? Let's see what happens there. Because I'm not even seeing the menu coming up. Oh, there we go.
I think that worked.
That one should have.
I see the menu. I see it went to other, and I presume that if it
went to the F, it should have filled whatever.
Yeah, it's just usually this is for when I'm setting up a new password or something like that, and I'm just not sure how to get that up on the screen.
Right. No.
Someone remind me, just because I almost never send keys. There's one of the send methods that automatically blocks user input during the time. Isn't that right?
No. Okay.
No. Is that something I want to turn off?
It's not that it blocks it, it's that
it's catching
it cues whatever you did. So that would be No, the thing is that for me, there's one thing that is input block, and the other one is to just cue whatever you did to play it later, which is, I think if you use the send play command, whatever you do on your keyboard or mouse during that time, it gets queued and then it gets sent. So that's okay. Now, this might be a good solution. Now, try moving it into your main file and see if that works. That's the second part. In the meantime, do we have any other questions that you guys might want to answer?
Someone on YouTube was talking about I forget what it's called, a block up, some sort of a custom block up thing they're doing, and they have a set timer that occasionally is getting locked and crashing, or stops running, and they were wondering what a typical thing was. I'm like, well, there's a lot of things, unfortunately, it could be. He said his set timer is being triggered every 100 milliseconds. Is that too fast for what you would think? Tom weighed in already saying it's way too fast. I don't ever personally have a problem with it at 100 milliseconds, but
I mean, it sounds like almost like he's doing an image search, probably.
But I'm not really sure what
100 milliseconds is pretty fast.
Yeah, I didn't
running at 24/7 too. So I've had this issue before at my job, and I've never been able to explain it except for some sort of memory leak within AutoHotkeys or the browser with them interacting for some reason. Like, we've found memory leaks with running AutoHotkey scripts, and I've never been able to truly solve the issue. So And it only happens like at my job. So it just might be because the computers are crappy or there's all these antiviruses or something. I really don't know. But my solution always was when I had a script that would just constantly just stop working after running for hours and hours, because it was usually doing a lot, I would add another set timer there where every like maybe 5 hours, it would jump to the handler and literally it would just be one line of code that said reload. And that like solved the issue like completely. It's a little bit of a hackery way, but it was the best solution we were ever able to find because we could never find out what was really going on in the back.
And we basically had this conversation, if you remember, like 2 months ago.
Yeah, I was trying to find the video, but I can't find the video where
it turned out, which is what my opinion was I've never had a problem with AutoHotkey memory leaking. It's always a problem with my code that I wrote itself, right? Doing it.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying you're wrong.
This only ever happened at the office.
So let me see if I understood, because that was part of the reason why I couldn't answer, if I'm understanding correctly. So he has a script that is doing a set timer every 100 milliseconds, but after some time running, it just stops. Is that what is happening? All right. Now, in that case, usually it's not the AutoHotkey itself. It might be whatever it is interacting with, or the logic of your code is not taking something into consideration that you're not looking at. So if your code every 100 milliseconds is expecting a window to be somewhere and then do something, and that window for some reason disappears without you knowing, your script might fail, right? So yeah, so you might want to do other things. By the way, you're still sharing your screen, Ray, just in case you were.
No, that's fine. I'm just trying to find a way. It appears to me that the code is working now, and I'm just trying to find a way to do it.
Test it. Yeah, no worries.
Show you.
But going back to what we were discussing, yes, if there might be something in your code that you're not taking into consideration that make it fail, or because if it is set to run every 100 milliseconds, it will do it unless something interferes. If you leave the computer by itself and it locks or it does something else, it might also interfere with your timer. So you might want to, so long as if you're saying like, I have it running for 8 hours. Well, something is happening during those 8 hours that is blocking your script. It's not really that the timers stop working. They keep going anyways.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that it could be. It's hard to tell, especially when it's on a computer, because, I don't know what they have. We have this virus protection that, has these rules. You have these that have those rules. So even like that could be something that's difficult to figure out. Because, it could be antivirus too in the long run, because I've had that happen where it's like, why is this script going off every 100 milliseconds? It's a lot.
Incidentally,
Ray, you also might want to check out this video. It's auto control. Joe did one too. That's it does basically send commands, and you can put weights in there too. And that one will not involve any coding at all. For what you're trying to do, and you wouldn't even need AutoHotkeys. It would just be in Chrome. So it might be something worth checking out. I just put it into the Zoom chat.
Okay, I'll check that out.
But it's something when it comes to Chrome. I prefer honestly using that over AutoHotkeys, just because.
Okay, it worked. It worked.
It worked. Okay, awesome.
Yes.
So now just to clarify, and this is the part with people like me, if you can go back to the script right here. So can you stay here? There's a few things, and for anybody trying to do something similar, this works, and I do it with quotation marks because there's a lot of things that is not taken into consideration. The first thing is that sleep command on 351. That's going to be your nightmare because right now it's working under these circumstances. If the computer, for whatever reason, gets under heavy load and you try this and the menu takes longer than 500 milliseconds to show up, that part of the script is going to fail. So that's the reason why it's not a good idea to use sleep commands to like execute the next line. It's always good to have other ways to check that what you're expecting is there. If it is a menu, it would be like checking if that menu is present, which is extremely difficult to do. To tell Windows, is that menu present? Or it would be like searching for an image, which takes a lot of CPU. So that's where we usually end up saying like using send commands is not the best. It's the fastest, like he just made it work for now. But the problem with that approach is that you're not taking into consideration when the menu is going to take more than 500 milliseconds to load. That's what
I see your CPU jumping up to over 90% there, here and there.
For some reason. So that's the part. Yeah, that's the part that this script is not taking into consideration when the load is going to jump.
Something I would also mention to kind of help you out here is, I don't know what processes, maybe you have a lot of these auto starting when your computer starts. That might be something you want to look at, maybe, because like you said, you don't know about Edge. Maybe Edge is auto starting and you don't want that. Like, have you opened Edge yourself?
I think a big part of it is qubit torrent. I'm running.
Oh yeah.
Can I have control for a second there? I mean, just going with whatever he just mentioned. One way to know what that process is all about, and as I mentioned, it had to do with Zoom, is that this MS Web, this view in particular, is the new way of Zoom handling, the image sharing that we're doing right now. So whatever, if you set the process to show what the parents are, you might take a look at that. But the Edge here, there wasn't this Edge one. It seems to be that you have Edge open for some other reason. So is the Edge view is from Zoom?
I would show him. Do you know how to look at like the startup folder and stuff? I mean, I would see how much stuff he got going on in there. He might just have programs running. See.
Yeah, notice that the help pane.exe here is the one that has this MS Edge thing open. So maybe he has some help file going on in there that uses that. Yeah, maybe this is what is going on.
Oh yeah.
But basically, whenever you do those kind of things, you can take a look at that. And the auto start section of your computer might be here. Yeah, we do have a script that goes ahead and helps you removing and adding stuff to the auto start section. But here you can always go to the settings and search for auto start, and you should be able to look at what is in there.
It's one of the first things when I get a new computer, especially at work, I look at what's automatically being started. And especially if you bought like a Dell or Gateway, whatever, some computer from some manufacturer, they throw in everything under the sun to start every time. And it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's so annoying.
I'm familiar with auto start. Auto runs somewhere here. Search executable auto runs. Oh, and I got this that I'm trying.
Yeah.
I got all kinds of stuff, and I lost my search.
But that's okay. Like the point was like, yeah, it is something that you might be able to make sure that there's not many stuff running at the beginning and so on.
Yeah.
But in general, I think the main question that you had, I think it is solved, right?
It is solved. I am complete. Thank you.
Excellent. That's great. So I'm going to give up remote control here now. So
yeah, and we got a question. Isaias, why don't you go ahead and share your screen and grab the chat here in Zoom.
Let's see, Zoom chat.
Okay.
So this, the hot string that is in there?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So what we have here, again, we are sending some keys, right? Let's see at the comments. He's trying to send this. Oh, hold on, but that is kind of like a yeah, it's an emoji. Right. So he's trying to send old 128.077, but that is not what what you think it is. Let's go and find maybe
Search for alt codes.
no, it's not that. I want to grab an editor that might be able to see that. So here, because he has a very specific code, 128.077, 128.077. No, that's not what it, 128.077. That's not what he thinks it is, or thumbs up emoji.
Let's go look it up.
Right, so thumbs up emoji alt code. Now it says that.
The 77 is the one. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. The problem is why I'm not getting it. So when I go to any.
Does alt need to be? Oh, never mind. He has it down. Never mind.
Yeah, he does. He has it down. He sends the thing. But the thing is that I'm doing it on my keyboard physically. I'm saying old 128.077 and I get an M. So whatever he's trying to do here.
Do one of the other ones.
Right. Well, I would assume that I'm not going to get any of them. 28.075. Yeah, I would get the K. And the reason for that, and I thought that it was because the editor here was not seeing it, but that's not it.
I'm getting a period when I do it on mine. That's weird.
Yeah, so because that is not really how it works, I think you have to do something else.
That's weird.
Hold on, let me see something. Not really how it works. I think you have to do something else. It is the sound is ping.
Yeah, I was testing it and it sent the unmute key.
Yeah, because it's the M. Like
yeah, it worked for me.
0.
It worked for me in Word.
Oh, that's what I meant. So
And
probably
then I
editor.
see the thumbs up.
Right. So that's what I meant. So probably the editor is the one that allows you to put that type of code. No, I got something. All right. So maybe the font. The font is the one that would allow you to do that. So I was semi-right trying it in a different.
I'm with Calibri font.
Calibri. So let's use Calibri. So if I do 128.077, yeah, there we go. Yeah. So it is dependent on the font. So now if I have the code, and that's the first part, how to test this code. So let's try.
Incidentally, Sean led a webinar on encoding in if you're new to any of this stuff, it's a really solid, lesson to learn of encoding sucks.
Okay, so we have delays and keys in here that I'm not really sure they are needed for now. Now, the other thing is, in this case, instead of sending keystrokes like this, we might want to, yeah, because this alt down is just being sent for this one is what you're saying. Let's try that. Let me see what happens here. So, yeah, it is trying to do something. Let me see, alt 1. Right, it is trying to turn on the auto save right here. Alt 1 does that.
Question, Isaias. To do this, I need to use the numbers on my keypad.
Yes.
It won't work if I use the numbers in the top row of my keyboard.
That
so
is
it
right.
Possible that you have to do something different to send the
yes.
numbers from the keypad?
Yes, I don't know if you can do numpad 1 like this. I think you can, if I remember correctly, you can access some keypad stuff like key list. Sorry. And you can have the numpad keys. Yeah, here we go. Numpad 1 and 2, those kind of things. So we could basically, and let me do that in VS Code though. It's a little bit easier to just go ahead and.
What you trying to do? Thumbs up.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think like instead of sending all of this stuff, I might just try to send the character itself with send. Instead of sending the keys, I might send the characters themselves. So I could just convert this into this thing. And probably, let's try that. Let's see what happens. Let's go to Word. There you go. So the reason why it was not working was because of the numbers that you were sending. If you send the numbers themselves, it's not going to work. And basically now you can comment everything into one line, right?
It's just to reiterate what we were saying with the earlier conversation. When you're sending keystrokes, right?
Yeah.
Like the program
A lot of
might treat it differently than what you're thinking.
Yes. So right now, what is going on is that this is going to work in Word with, hold on, return. So this is going to work in Word, but here it won't. It will give me an M. And it is just because of the font that you have. If the font doesn't has it set up, now here, if I go and say that will work. So again, instead of sending the keystrokes like this, I might send the character, because you can do that. You can send the code page directly using the send key. The send command. So probably if you're doing this send, I think you have
with CHR maybe.
Why not just use
CHR and the Unicode code?
The character, yeah, exactly. So that's what I was trying to.
I just got it working on my computer.
Okay, what do you get?
I get the thumbs up, but I have to use a variable for some odd reason. I can't figure out why on that.
Can you share your screen?
It works with the Unicode perfectly, at least in Notepad. I would test it in a few other places.
Oh, you sent it. Okay, so let's see.
Yeah.
Okay, let me share the screen again. So I
took a little tinkering, but for some reason I had to use a variable.
Right. So this is what I meant. Yes, you can do this. Now, what happens is that if you're sending this thing here, now you would have to put everything in quotation marks. So that I would assume that works. So
what I missed is
right. So is the quotation marks. If you don't do that in this sense,
evaluate it. Yeah.
Right. So F3. Now, notice that in here, it is going to tell me like, hey, what is that? What the heck is that? It's because of the editor itself. Now, if I go to a different place where it might find it. Yeah, so here is working fine. And that's exactly what I meant. Instead of sending keystrokes one by one, you can, yes?
Show how to decode where Tom got the 1544D.
1544D, so I'm sorry, let me see.
1F44D, excuse me.
Oh.
Where did he look that up? We didn't show that.
That's
Tom just showed
the hexadecimal value.
The hexadecimal value of
that. I'm saying let's show everyone else.
Show it, yeah.
Right. So what
I'll send where I got it.
Yeah, it is on the alt codes probably.
This is what I used. I just found this website and it's pretty easy. You can search for like thumbs up.
Right.
Yeah.
So
but if you know the decimal value, you can find the hexadecimal value using, for example, the calculator from Windows.
Right.
In the
You can do
programmer
that
mode,
too.
you could do that if you already know the decimal value.
Let me see.
But
I will
finding
show
the
that in a second. Let me see if I could share whatever he had as well here. So here's the page that he sent. Okay. So you can go to this page and you find whatever character or emoji you're looking for. And once you click on it, it gives you the Unicode character, right? And it gives you other ways for you to get it to work. Like in HTML, you can do this, or CSS, that's it. Now, I'm not really sure if I'm looking at, I do not see here the alt code, which is what was missing, right? In this other page, you do have the alt codes for many stuff. They give you the alt code, how you would do it on the keyboard, pressing Alt and the numpad keys, or it can give you the Unicode point, which is the one that you can use in HTML or so this same code is the one that you might find in the HTML code here. The only different, well, no, sorry, the Unicode number, which is the one that you can use in the CSS. I'm sorry, that's what I meant. So yeah, that's the way how we find those things. And John was talking about either the decimal value converted in the Windows calculator. So I would assume, John, what you mean is that you see this number right here on the left, you can convert them into hexadecimal. Is that what you're talking about? John?
You're muted. He's nodding.
yeah.
Okay,
was
I'm sorry. So this number right here, which you can do with
yeah, it's the decimal representation of the same value that you have with 1F for DD.
Right. So you have this decimal value here, and it would give you the hexadecimal up there, which is the one that you're looking at right about here as well. 1F for D is the same as 128.077. So all of those ways, if you are working with Unicode characters and so on, and you decide you want to send it with the send command, you can send the hexadecimal value by placing it between the curly braces, the U for Unicode, the plus for telling it that that's what you're going to do. And now you put the hexadecimal value right there.
And then just hold down the Windows key and hit period.
Yeah, you can do that too.
Obviously, but it's, you can type thumb, start typing thumb.
Yeah, you can just go ahead and thumbs, and it would give you whatever it is. Now notice that, and this is the good thing about doing it through Windows like this, because the editor where I'm at right now, notice that it doesn't understand it, right? But it was actually giving me, I don't know why it was, is that like a preview or something? Yeah, it goes ahead and deletes it. I don't know why. That's all. Let me see.
It's very interesting.
That's interesting. So yeah, it just goes ahead and doesn't know what to do with it. But there is a way for it to just figure out what the correct encoding is. That is just about the encoding for that.
He was wondering if there's a specific version of AHK needed to send Unicode. He says he thinks he remembers reading something about that. I actually don't know the answer to that.
Yes, you have to be careful with the version that you're using, because when you install it, it comes with different AutoHotkey versions like this, okay? And there's one that is ANSI, the other one is Unicode. Automatically, when you install it, it installs the Unicode 64-bit. That's the one that it installs automatically.
Well, just to clarify, installs all of them, right? They're all put there. But
yeah, but yeah, the one that you're using here, this one here on the top, the one that says autohotkey.exe, that one is usually, if you didn't change anything with the installer, it's going to be the U64-bit for that. What I do is that what you can do is just usually just delete one of them. If it is not running, by the way, nothing is using it. you can delete the main AutoHotkey, copy the one that you want, if it is Unicode 32 or Unicode 62, whatever you want, just copy it and rename it to AutoHotkey exe, which is what AutoHotkey really does. And now your version is running that version that you selected.
Or you can just rerun the install and select the version you want.
As well, which is just going to do that thing. It's the same.
Jackie and I, for years, have said, use the Unicode 32-bit version. You know, like it has the most objects and access to stuff for now. But yeah, I don't think there's any reason to use the ANSI version like that. No. Actually, the ANSI version is gone, and actually version 2 of AutoHotkey does not even come with an ANSI version because it should disappear. Unicode is the same as ANSI, but with more stuff. That's all. All right. Does anyone else have any? Oh, I see. Amen. Hello. Anyone else have any other questions? Someone wrote a question earlier on up in here, and what was it? Oh, they were talking about a menu, but I don't think they ever replied. They said something about accessing Tyler. Hi, Joe. Any tips on handling right-click menu options? I know I can start the right-click move to the 5th item, but if my menu ever changes due to installing a new program, the script would break. And I said, well, what menu are you referring to? It kind of sounds like the context menu.
Context menu. Yeah.
Right.
So and the content of this menu can change when you install new applications.
Yes.
That's the same issue that we were discussing with SendKey. Yeah. So the 3rd item is not always the one you think it should be, and it can depend also on the type of file that you right click. So you would need to, and I'm not the best to help doing that, but to search by the text of your menu item, not its position. Maybe this could help.
But there's a lot of different context menus for different programs, is my point, right?
That's
but
exactly.
But I mean, I think he meant in the File Explorer, in Windows Explorer. That's always the same with variations, but
could be with Chrome with what
but hold on. The reason why John is going that way is because he said when I install a program,
you can install
right?
Chrome extensions and your context menu anyway. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I understand.
It depends on which context menu you talk about.
Yeah.
But I was assuming he was talking about the Explorer context menu.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Which
Someone
is
else
something evolving. Yeah.
The guy actually right here, Ray. I don't know if you want to ask your question through my audio or text. Either's fine.
Oh, okay. If there's nobody
10 more minutes, by the way.
I don't know that I can recreate this, but here's what happens. It's just on the text. It's like a expanding text. And I'll put in the short form, like say I type period REM, and then I hit enter. Nothing happens. And then I do it again, period REM, and the second time it'll work. And then it'll continue working. Do you know what's happening there? Like the first time it doesn't work. And that's what puzzle. No, the first time it doesn't work, the second time it works. And I don't understand what's causing that. I hope
So I'm not sure if somebody else has any idea of that, but so what you're saying is the first time you do the send, it doesn't work. And then the second time it works.
The first time I type the shortcut, it doesn't work. Then I type it again, and then it works.
Mm-hmm.
Which code is this? Is this the one we worked on?
Hold on.
It's the same file, yeah.
No. Hold on. If you, because you said that you press the enter key to send it, is that what you're doing?
Well, this is just a like I'll be in Word. I want the expanded text. I go all of my shortcuts, I start with a period.
Yeah. But my question is, when you want it to be sent, is when you press the enter key? Because I know that the tab key, the space key, and others are used to send strings by default. But there are
Enter
some
is one of the end keys that can be used.
Okay,
Depends
that's what I
on your
wanted to
preference.
confirm.
Yeah, I think it's your preference what key, but space is the most usual for me, for example.
Right.
Or even me, I prefer to have a screen without the end key. So as soon as the hot string is typed, it's expanded immediately.
Right. Now, here's the thing. So he has .ram and he expands to some text. It's just text. Is that a multi-line text or just one line?
One line.
Okay. Let's test this.
You know what? Now that you've said this, sorry. Oh dear, I'm having. Okay, go there. I can't. Oh, okay. Wow. Okay. You know what? I made a mistake. I don't press enter. You're right. What I do is I press space. Sorry about that. I was
right. No, it's okay.
To expand it.
So when you do the space, the first time it doesn't work, but the second one it does.
Yeah.
Now here's the thing, because I've seen that in certain situations when I'm working with hot strings. If you start with a hot string, but you didn't finish it, for example, sometimes when I hit backwards and press another one, for whatever reason, it doesn't work. Sometimes you are in the middle of a hot string. AutoHotkey thinks that you're in the middle of a hot string and doesn't accept the other one. I don't know how to explain that. And usually just hitting enter or going into a new line, it works. It has happened to me many times. The only problem is like, it only happens with this hot string or it happens with others at any other point.
All I have is hot strings and maybe two or three little control, but mainly I just have, okay, but I think I understand what you're saying. Like if the shortcut is REM and I go period RE, and then I get distracted and do something else.
And then, and it can happen, it happens very often, like, and actually you started a different hot string or something, or the text that you're typing contains part of what might be a hot string. Like, for example, you're writing http.website.com. This .com, if this .co AutoHotkey is looking at, oh, that might be a string. It enter into that state. And then when you type .re, whatever, it doesn't see it just because it was already in a different state. It might happen, and sometimes it happens to me very often. It's just that I just hit a space, hit backwards, and try typing it again so that AutoHotkey knows that I'm trying to type a hot string.
It's one of the reasons why I put a period at the end of every one of my hot strings.
Instead of at the beginning.
It's not that it needs it, it's that I make sure that I'm using it properly and I'm not getting words from other things. And even then I have false triggers, but so a period and then you hit space and then it triggers it.
And what can interrupt a hot string is window switching. So pressing Alt Tab, for example, in the middle of the hot string, if you come back to continue your hot string, it won't work. And sometimes the window you are working in can lose the focus because of something else on your computer. So this could also interrupt, but it would not happen every time. It would happen just by bad luck at some point.
Yeah.
So that's probably not the reason why raise hot string doesn't work the first time.
Sometimes, yeah. But
always the first time.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like consistently.
Yeah.
Could he look at the last line's run to help figure out what interfered and what happened?
Well,
I don't know if it would.
No, it would not tell you what interfered, but it might give you a clue as to where it stopped working. because you would see what the last line the AutoHotkey noticed was. Yeah.
Well, if the other one got triggered, at least you would see that.
Yes.
Right? Can we show him real quickly how to do that? Because I don't know if he knows.
Okay.
Ray, do you know how to pull up what was run last?
No, I don't.
We're out of time.
With any script, any AutoHotkey script that has the normal menu there, you have an option that says open. Okay. And that would allow you to go ahead and take a look at the lines most recently executed. They show up by default, and it would let you know what was the last thing the script did. And you can always press F5 to refresh and see if the script is actually doing a loop or something like that. Now, if you want, you can also trigger a script to do that by using the last lines, or what was it? No, view. I had the view hotkeys. Oh, I forgot about that one. View last lines. Is that the one that you're saying? Nah, hold on.
List?
I remember.
Something with list last lines?
Right. I know that we had like list hotkeys or something like that. That's one of them. But there's another list lines. That's the one. Yeah.
List vars is another really good
here
one.
we go. Yeah.
Look at.
List vars. The thing is that and list hotkeys or something like that, was it? Hold on. List hotkeys. There we go. So we have list vars, list lines, and all of those commands. Any of those commands like list lines, when you put it on your script, it actually goes ahead and brings up this window that I was just showing you, that you can just go by right-clicking on a script and hitting open. That's what you would see, this same window. And it would at least tell you what was the last thing your script was doing. So in there, you might see if the hotkey was triggered and what was the last hotkey that got triggered, or what was the script trying to look at that specific point in time.
What does that script do that you just had up there as an example? It looks so complicated.
What, this one here, like the one that I was looking at here, that is part of the AutoHotkey toolkit. So this same script, and what happens is that it monitors the mouse. So whenever I'm moving the mouse, it monitors where it is at, because if it is in a specific control, it would change it to, it would change the icon. And actually what it's monitoring right now is just this. So if you go to the about key here, it switches the mouse into a hand icon, because at that time, that point in time, there were no link controls in AutoHotkey. So I had to fake it. I had to put a normal text with an underline blue, and then grabbing the mouse and trying to, I had to, yeah, it's going over your head, right?
There you go.
No, but basically that was the point. The point was that was this, which is totally normal for us now, having the mouse on top of a text and changing the mouse into a different icon. It is totally intuitive now, but at that time there was nothing for it. So what I did is I faked it. I actually,
you still have to do it if you have buttons, for example, in the GUI, and you have the buttons to be with the hand. So you have to manage it manually. That's not fun.
So right now for AutoHotkey, right now in its current version doesn't do that for buttons, right? But basically what I was doing was just that, just taking it, and the script is constantly doing that all the time.
And as I've told Isaias, or Raptor X, if you look for his HK Toots channel, it's one that like 10 years ago, probably, I rewatched over and over and over, because I borrowed that approach from him to make my hyperlink.
Or something else.
Tool. Yeah, but it was like, it's so funny because it's so easy now compared to what it used to be.
Right, yeah, now you just add a link control and you have all that already done for you. That's the difference.
Mr. Automator, you said that you put a period at the end of every one of your short keys. Do you put a period also before? Like I put the period before and then the shortcut.
It's just a preference.
Do you put one before and after?
I don't.
Just
No,
after.
Yeah, I just put it at the end.
Okay.
It's just a preference.
It helps me know. Yeah, you can put whatever key you want, right?
Yeah,
It,
of
for
course.
me, it just helps me remember I'm triggering a hotkey, and it helps, generally speaking, have false, not have as many false triggers. A few things like paths to files, I actually don't. That's where I have a dozen of those paths to folders that I use very frequently, so I can type something. And those I begin with a P period, and then I put in the path, put in my name of it. But those I don't end in the period because I've already, using the P period at the beginning, kind of neutralized the issue of false triggering.
I think in his rate, what I would do in your case is to add the option to trigger as soon as you type it, instead of having to press enter or space, depending on the keyword, right? So there might be some things that you just want to type dot pair and it just does whatever you want. But there are some other situations. So to do that, in case you don't know, this is one of the settings that you can do on hot strings.
Just a heads up, we're running out of time pretty much.
Yes. So if you have .per, this is a test. If you keep it like that, you would need a space, a tab, or something to trigger the hotkey. But you can put an asterisk here in the options to let it know that as soon as you type .per, it just goes ahead and replaces it. It doesn't wait for the space or the tab or the key. That is good usually when the hot string itself is really unique. I wouldn't do it with .co, because then whenever you're trying to type a website, mysite.com, it would have an issue with it. Notice that it didn't trigger, and it is because I think I was not running it. But mysite.com, it would not. Let me see. Let me double check something. Oh, because if I'm in the middle of typing something, it doesn't trigger. But if it is by itself,
yeah, right.
Yeah. If you put it by itself, it actually goes ahead and just types it. But you might get some false triggers if you're not, careful with this. But I usually use the auto, just do it like that.
Yeah, and put the O there instead of the asterisk. So if you have a password or something, what's nice is that way it doesn't add a space at the end, right? So I use those a lot for usernames or passwords. That way you don't have to, it doesn't add something to the end.
Thank you for all that. I thought I got the period before the short form from one of your videos, Mr. Automator. Sorry, I don't know your name. I just see you there as the Automator.
Yeah, it's Joe.
It's Joe.
Joe? Okay.
Yeah. No,
I got it from your video, and that anyway.
Joe's legally changing his name soon to the Automator. First name,
All right. Well, thanks everyone for being here.
Yeah.